Welcome back yet again, episode number 4, and we're on our 8th episode segment. Okay, this is you and I see different. My Julian Luciano voice and the video. So shout out to you guys. I'm out here from Thailand, Phuket, Thailand, that is, and my hermano Brandon. You guys seen him before,
See, coming
right?
live from Vida, Costa Rica. It's a beautiful day in Costa Rica.
Yes. Yes, I love to hear it, man. My guys out there in the Costa Rica, we just wanted to bring it to you very simple, very straight to the point, okay? You know, stress isn't, it's the pattern, the habits, and the misinformation, or the lots of information, the overload of information, the overload of your day-to-day, the
Hmm.
stressors, right? The family members, right?
See?
The friends, the situations of the past, right? Carrying old things into new experiences, right? This pattern can only get you into one location, right? It's just like we were talking about earlier. There's a funnel, there's a tunnel, there's a route, there's a lane, there's grout, and you got to be able to stay in your lane and at the same time add to that armor, right? You got to continue to add to the armor. You got to continue to add to the masterpiece. You got to continue to add to the CPU, to the GPU, to the car. I don't know, to the accessory. Something that you have to add to. You got to build upon it, just like a Lego, right? I guess that's the easiest one to go to. What? How do you feel about stress? Not necessarily being the problem, but more so the action taking and the habits and everything that comes with that.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you again. Excited to be on episode 4 and getting right to it. Really, like you said, the stress is not the problem. And that's a distinction I want to make. It's not the stress by definition, it is the patterns that we take to handle the stress. It's just like money is really not the problem. Money's not the problem. People come up with money. It's what we spend the money on. What's the pattern of spending? You know, because people say, well, I can't eat well, it's too expensive. But then you go out, and this is not knocking anybody because I'm not against having drinks. But then people go out and they're like, well, we're just going to go get 2 bottles tonight. And it's like, brother, sister, what you're spending on bottles, that's food, you know? And for my folks who are beyond that phase, we all spend money on things that we could spend money on differently. So I'm just using the analogy of finances to drive home the point of stress. Stress isn't the problem, it's the way we use the stress, the way we manage the stress. Because a lot of people don't know there's actually 2 forms of stress. There's eustress, which is a positive stressor, and there's distress, when that's a negative stressor working against the body. So stress can be used as an igniter or as a tool, but a lot of us just get sucked into patterns, generational patterns, and histories and stories where stress just eats us up and keeps us ineffective. So, not to be so long winded, but it's not stress, it's the patterns we take. We all have the opportunity to do better. We all know how to do better. It's just what we do with the opportunity we have, for real, for real.
Yeah.
Side, clicking. Can you hear me? You hear me? Okay, bet. I can't hear you.
Am
Oh,
I
I think I can
clicking?
hear you now. Okay, no, not anymore. I'm sorry. It was clicking on my end, but it stopped.
Okay. Are we
My
clicking? We're
fault.
good?
Yeah, I'm good now.
All right. Yeah, they said that on the TikTok they said that you are receiving a lot of calls here. So it keeps on coming out. But it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna keep it going. For my people that are live on TikTok, I just wanted to let you guys know that we are on an episode right now.
Um,
So that is fine. It's fine though. We're only 5 minutes
uh,
into episode 4, so I hope you guys could tune into You and I See Different, right? And this is just a 8 series segment that we have on our last 2 to 3 to years of existence, essentially, of learning how to emotionally be intelligent, how to um, really just learn how to become that innocent self yet again to be able to serve the people that we are trying to serve here. And this right now is actually more so based towards women that are empowered, that are entrepreneurs, that are just being both sides, single mothers, right? Single mothers being both sides, sometimes even joint parents being the side that has the highest stressors, if you may, right? So this is very important, not only for single people, for single women, for entrepreneurs that are single, but this can actually make your relationship 100% better, right? You can definitely be able to uh, see past the superficial times or just the things that you've been sweeping under the rug for a long time. So I guess it's not stress, it's actually the not action taking, right? It's the patterns, it's the monotony, right? So all of these things um, can really take a toll on your life. How do you feel about monotony, hermano, when it comes to stress?
oh man, I think that monotony is the single most
Hold
detrimental
on,
thing. Oh,
hold on. I'm sorry. Now I'm hearing you
oh,
staticky.
man,
Yeah, no, you got.
ecstatic on my, no sé.
Maybe we take off the tick. Maybe it's pulling from the internet. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
yeah,
for real.
yeah. You got 14 comments, 2K likes. Get on that later. It's not going
Boy,
nowhere. Okay.
your boy got to get his. Look at Stella. You look nice, Stella. Look at the fit of the day. See, here for the mujeres, brother. Here for the ladies. The emotionally intelligent young ladies who are living their life, want to have the best.
Yes, sir. I agree 100%, man, because they just, frolic around like my guy and I were talking about earlier. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to be able to see such a beautiful woman that has her pretty much has her life and feels phenomenally great with it, just being happy, just enjoying herself and being positive, honestly. What do you have anything?
Yeah, so can you hear me now? I know we had a little bit
Yeah, way
technical.
better. Way
Okay,
better.
okay, no worries. We're building this ship while we're flying, episode 4. But brother, to answer your question from earlier, you know, monotony is the single most detrimental thing to a human nervous system. We are created for
Hmm.
novelty. We're created for new experiences. We want new. We want more. We're supposed to live. We're not supposed to just do the same thing and eat the same thing and be in the same spot. It sounds boring now. Just getting up, just working, just doing the same old thing. The mind needs to expand. We need to create new neural connections. We need new synaptic gateways to fire, and we need to have fun doing it, with some laughs and some joy and excitement, brother. So I think that monotony is the opposite of excitement. You know what you're gonna get, you're gonna eat the same thing, you're gonna do the same thing, and you just don't feel inspired. That's why a lot of people get addicted to tragedies or to drama, or they go back in the past and they rely on trauma to feel something in their body from a time when they weren't just doing the same thing. And the
Hmm.
human system is wired in such a way that we can actually seek out something negative to give us that excitement, some cortisol, some adrenaline, so that we get out of that same just there. So, brother, like you said, it's the patterns. And when you're not stimulated, when you're not excited, when you're not engaged, you fall into patterns. You settle. You just, eh. And then over enough time, you no longer have the desire or the will to move or to engage, and then this becomes a lifestyle. And then
Yeah.
1 year, 2 year, 3 year, four, now you're not really living anymore. You're just existing.
And that is definitely very important not to do, to not just exist, to know that God gave you a purpose, and to fulfill your purpose internally so that you don't have to wake up every single day and look at yourself in the mirror and look at uh, the need for hydration in the skin, the need for some good vacation, right? You start to notice these physical components that we have, which is our part of our body, and it starts to talk to us, it starts to show us, and we have to be conscious enough to pick up on these things so that we can remain, uh, at least give ourselves a better chance of living, at least, because a lot of people will survive through even the most unhealthiest habits and continue to live. But at the same time, I don't know if you're living or you're just existing. So it's definitely very real to be able to act on wanting to be conscious of what your body is telling you in the physical world, right? And then to mentally, and still in the physical world, work on yourself, right? Still here, still live on earth, people. So we can't just read books and we can't just sit in these circles and we can't just go to the community centers. And I mean, when I say community centers, I mean gyms, I mean yogas, I mean meditations, I mean sound baths, I mean all of these things that are supposed to be healing, and really you're just creating a very big community that revolves around cycles. And I think that it's very important to break free from these cycles. Hence, this is why it is the pattern, right? This is why it is the pattern. This is why it is the pattern. It's in the pattern. So, how do you feel some of our audience, right, being women, how do you think they can incorporate habits or pattern breakers, or just a little bit more of insight on what would it look like if they didn't have all of these situations going on?
Absolutely, hermano. I'm going to drop $1 million word. That word is going to make me at least $1 million in this next year or a few years coming up here. The word is integration, because I love what you're sharing with the audience. You're saying, listen, I get it. I know that stuff has happened. I know it's not your fault. I know that a lot of women have been wrong, and there's no solution. So they are in a community. They're finding community with each other and within themselves, where they can do a women's circle, where they can do all sorts of things. They can go to a retreat. They can partner. They can pursue different medicines and healings and celebrations.
Yeah.
And those are great tools. There's all sorts of phenomenal accessory tools, but at the center of it, hermano, is the integration. It really does come down to making the decision. And once an individual makes a decision, either before the decision or after, but at some point, decision before or after, comes the actual vision to what you're saying, where you can visualize and say, what is life going to be like when I'm not healing? Like I said, it could be before the decision or after the decision, but there has to come a point.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody these days knows their stress. Everyone's falling into patterns. Some of us are aware and go, I want to get out of the pattern. The next piece is, well, what does that look like? Is it that you don't want to feel sick, or that you want to be healthy? Is
Mm-hmm.
it that you don't want to be stressed, or you want to be happy? I think that's the real meat and cheese. That's the real key to this thing here, is the actual understanding that what is my life going to look like when I don't have to heal, when I'm not traumatized, when I'm not broken, when I'm not impatient, when I don't do the things. What is life going to look like when I'm out of the pattern? Because now you have a whole nother set of assignments. You were you were traumatized, then traumatized your whole life. Then you went through healing. But now what? What does life look like when I'm healed? Because
Mm-hmm.
now healed means you have to find new activities. Now you can't just make your yearly calendar around going to ceremonies and treatments and events and continually healing the wound. I mean, healing can be a
Mm-hmm.
lifetime journey for some, And for some others, they can be healing and growing and experiencing. And for some, they can just be flat out healed and integrate a new lifestyle once they've been healed and complete. Not to say you're not complete
Yeah.
when you're healing, but having complete fulfillment beyond the healing stage, if that's what an individual is looking.
I think that that is very amazing because it goes right to where I was gonna just say, solitude equals uh, opportunities. Solitude equals advancement. Solitude equals discernment. And I think that solitude also equals self-love, most importantly. Um, and it also equals innovation. And with this last word, innovation, don't be afraid, my people, to be vulnerable enough to become new and to join new things, right? A lot of people get stuck right there once the blessing is on its way and I'm in Thailand right now and they have this ceremony where they celebrate New Year's in April's, right? In April. It's actually very interesting, right? For all of those people that believe that the New Year's, originated in January, right? And have that conspiracy or whatever the case may be. We don't know,
Mm.
but the point
Mm.
is that they have this tradition where it's called sangrit, where they actually bless you while they throw water on you. So everybody today was wearing floral shirts, and this is
Mm.
just to show that everybody feels blessed, right? So you
Mm.
must wear a floral shirt so that you can represent blessings, right? This right
Mm.
here, what I want to say when it comes to innovation, when it comes to um, not avoiding your new self, pretty much. Don't be afraid to get blessed by the people that you think aren't here to bless you. You think that the
Mm.
old people are here to bless you when you bring them new things or you accomplish new awards or you have the recognition at work and you feel like you are despised because it is yet another pattern of you just another ribbon on top of another ribbon. You've been winning since you've been alive. So you've been in spelling bees you have participation ribbons, you got third, you got second place, you got first place, you got honor societies, right? You got all of these recognitions and awards that you've been receiving, and maybe you have, but the point is that you are alive, so don't be afraid to step into your new life and leave the old life behind and embody and embrace the peaceful self with the emotional intelligence that comes with being in pure solitude and actually getting to the grit, right? And to the grind of who you actually are and what you actually want. It is important for us to identify as what we want to identify. And I'm not saying when it comes to genders, I'm talking about actually identifying with who you want to be, right? And to each their own, never a judgment here on You and I See Difference, all about perspective, and you guys know this, very respectful towards all types of communities. But right now, we're specifically talking about how we can advance in a world where everything is so sped up. And we are seeing diagnosis after diagnosis after diagnosis, especially with our women, females here on Earth that we have been attending for the past years. So, um, again, I'll go on a tangent, but I just wanted to ask my hermano, my compadre, really quick. Please share, if you don't mind, information on why it is urgent that people these patterns avoid the stress and continuously uh, improve and just build on their own momentum.
Mm-hmm. And I love the word innovate. This morning I woke up with the words innovate and evolve for our audience. It is just so it's imperative, it's urgent, it's needed. Um, I can only speak for my life. I know of multiple people who have been hospitalized. Carmen was hospitalized these past few days. Nadine was hospitalized last weekend, and these are just off the top of my head. Mujeres, women who I know, um, cancer diagnoses, the C word. Um, I'll just go all in: IBS, PCOS, endometriosis. Man, you name it. Women with headaches and overwhelm, and just it's funny. One of the young ladies I know, she's from Asian heritage. She was sharing that she started watching Jane the Virgin so she could better understand. And by way of her watching that, she was better understanding the intensity of the Latina community. So, I say all that to say it is so normal. It's so normalized. Hashtag normal for our ladies to be stressed and impatient and overwhelmed. But in 2025, 2026, 2030, 2040, we got to create something new, and we got to do it
Mm-hmm.
now because the diagnoses, they're getting younger and younger. We're seeing pediatric, juvenile, autoimmunes, whether it be diabetes or arthritis or, going back to colitis and other bowel syndromes. These are occurring younger and younger. I have 17-year-olds. I have 13-year-olds. I have less than a year old children with gut issues. And I'm not going to get into the full on spectrum, but I am a part of a practice here, practicing out of Costa Rica, where we're seeing the labs and the results, and it's very prevalent. The immune dysfunction triggered by gut dysfunction, microbiome. For some folks, is parasitic infections, immunocompromised. I'm saying all these words and terms, and they mean different things to different people. But the whole thing, the end all be all, there's only one dysfunction, and that's that the body's out of alignment. It's not really what you do; it's how you feel, and we're seeing a lot. So it has to happen now.
We can't mind is coming in 2026 is coming, 2027, 28, 29, 30, and so on. So let's continue to live. Let's just choose to live differently, just a little bit more open-minded. Resistance, resistance, very important. No resistance needed. This is a safe place, and everything is in our bio if you want to come. So thank you for tuning in. 4. We're gonna close out my hermano again. My guy closed it out. He just closed it
Haha.
out.
It's getting to that point. We're halfway through the segments. It's an 8 episode series. We're in the middle. We're at episode number 4. So it's April 1st. It's just getting right to the business. As I'm continuing to talk, I want to be very diplomatic and loving and sweet and sharing. But it's time, bro. It's time to get this message out and get it at full potency. I'm gonna get my TikTok going so I can go live on here, and I'm gonna start going live like my brother's doing here and sharing with the folks, bro. Because we don't have time. We have time, but it's very imperative that we get this thing rolling. I want to see all my ladies, young and less young, young and younger. I want to see all of them thriving and living. And I say that the day that Latinas get emotional intelligence, the day they take over the world. So I'm ready for that day.
Let's go. I'm ready for
Let's
that day
go.
too. So it is a beautiful day. Enjoy yourselves. Right now it is April 2nd for me, so a different
Ah,
day.
sheesh. You know what I'm saying? Case in point. Different day,
Case
different
in
year,
point.
same message.
That's it. It's been real. Julian, Luciano, thank you for tuning in to You and I See Different, episode 4 of this 8 series segment. And it is with my hermano, Mr. Brandon Lilavois from Costa Rica, my people. Pura
From
vida.
Costa Rica. This was all a dream. You know, it was all a dream. Pura vida.
Pura vida, hermano.
Yes, sir.